Salut tout le monde! This is going to be part one of how to become an au pair in France. Ha! Okay, so I'm going to break it down into a few parts because this is going to be a little bit too long for just one video. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So number one, know when you want to go. It's best to know because it'll also coincide with the visa, like when to apply for it, when to make the appointment. On the day you leave, your appointment day for the application, for applying for the visa, has to be within 90 days. So for example, me, I left August 31st and my appointment day was June 3rd. ちょうど90 days, just 90 days. So know when you're going to leave because it's very important when you try to apply for the visa. So once you figured out when you are going to leave, you can move on to step 2, which is, this should actually be step 1, but I just put it for step 2. But check if you qualify. It would really help if you had experience in childcare. So for example, babysitting or even tutoring. Tutoring is not really childcare, but you have experience working with children, so you know how to kind of handle them. That would help you in your case. So yes, check if you qualify. Au pairing means that you're going to be staying with a family, you're going to be living with them the entire time, and your job is to take care of the kids. That's your main job. So you will have to like kids. This is not going to work if you don't like kids. Depending on the family and what they're searching for, what they're looking for in you, they might be pretty demanding. They might not be as demanding, but the job itself, taking care of kids, especially if they're small, is very, very hard and it's very demanding. You need to be able to have some kind of care for kids. If you don't like them, this is not for you. Don't even bother watching this video because that's the only job you're going to have as an au pair. Another thing, you have to be between the ages of 18 years old to 30 years old. 30 years old is the max. So I checked. So since I came from Japan, all of the websites that I checked were in Japanese initially. So 日本語では it says 18歳以上から30歳未満。で、未満は30歳を含まれないっていうことだから、I think it's only until 29, but I'm not entirely sure because in France it says ages 18 to 30. So best thing to do, if you're 29 years old and you might turn 30 soon, make sure to contact the French government, the French embassy, ask them if you still qualify. Advice. When you contact the French embassy, best to write them in French because if you try to send them an email in English or Japanese, they will not reply. Make sure you write it in French. Use a translator. Use those, but make sure to write in French. Okay, yes. So what you do is you go on Visa Wizard. That's on the French government website, Visa Wizard, and then you have to put in the necessary answers, like your nationality, what you're going to do there, which visa you need, then the answers you need for what documents you need, what you need to prepare is all going to pop out. And what is written on that page is all you need. When you go to the embassy and when you hand them all the documents, they may ask you for additional things. When I went, they told me that we'll contact you if, we need anything else, which they didn't. Ultimately, they didn't. I say that because when I looked up everything and I looked up people's experiences in the past, a lot of them said that when they got to the embassy, they were asked for additional documents that weren't written on the website and they were confused. And then so they had to go back home, send it, and then blah, blah, blah. So I got worried. I was like, well, geez, if they're going to pull this stuff, I'm like, that might happen to me. So there were so many additional documents that I found that may be asked. And I got them all. I got them all. And I didn't even need them, but it was better to be prepared. But I'll tell you now, it's not necessary. You don't have to do that because of what I went through. And this was very recent. You don't need that. Once you looked up the Visa Wizard and what you need, remember I mentioned that when you set your appointment, you have to do it max 90 days before you leave. When you choose the date you're going to leave, count or calculate. When you set your appointment, make sure to do it as quickly as possible, because if you wait too close, like for example, if you want it to be June 3rd, do not wait until you get into May to make the appointment for June 3rd, because there won't be any slots open, because you can always cancel it and then reschedule. But remember, when you reschedule, if you get too close to the month of the rescheduled date, it might not be open. So just be careful about that too. When you make your appointment, write your name exactly as it is on your passport. Like for example, me, I have a middle name. And so I have 3 names, and all 3 names are written on my passport. I don't use my middle name at all. Just put in the name exactly as it is written on your passport. Don't write it anyway else. All right, so that is my part 1 of how to become an au pair in France. I'm going to get into another video for part 2 and explain the rest of the steps. Okay. So I hope all of these steps kind of came in handy for you. This is just like a beginner's guide. I didn't add too many tips yet. I only added a few because I'm going to get into the more detailed tips later on. If you feel like you have more questions, something that maybe I left out, please let me know. Don't be afraid to text me in Japanese because 日本語も全然大丈夫です。So, enjoy the rest of your day.